All right, let's dive into something really cool today. We're going to unpack a pretty unique mental model for creativity called the Visio Ars Twins. It's this amazing framework that wraps up some seriously powerful creative strategies inside this slick, anime-inspired story.
And this quote, man, it just nails the whole idea. Being creative isn't just about passively seeing what's in front of you. No, it's about actively jumping in and shaping how things are perceived. It's about taking that messy, chaotic spark of an idea and turning it into a sharp, powerful vision. Okay, so to really get this framework, we have to start at the surface level, what the system calls the public myth. This is the fun, front-facing story that introduces us to our two main characters. So on the face of it, you've got these two heroines, Nova and Onyx. Now, they're not actually twins, but they work so perfectly together that they might as well be. They run this super high-tech creative agency, the Visio Ars Studio, and their whole deal is investigating visual anomalies. You can basically think of them as creative detectives, solving problems like a brand logo that's just lost its magic or some viral trend that feels totally empty. And this is where you see their fundamental difference. They're like two sides of the same creative coin. You've got Nova, who is all about imagination. She's that intuitive, emotional spark that sees endless possibilities, the what could be. And then you have Onyx, who's all about cognition. She's the logical, structured mind that sees patterns and figures out what will happen if you make a certain choice. You can really see their personalities here, right? Nova is the radiant dreamer, just bursting with color and wild ideas. Onyx, she's the calm protector, always thinking in systems, with that cool, sleek vibe. But, and this is super important, check out their flaws. Nova can get totally lost in a sea of possibilities, while Onyx can get so logical that she becomes rigid. That tension, that balance, that's the key. Okay, so we've got this cool story, these awesome characters, but what if it's all just a metaphor? What if it's pointing to something way, way closer to home? This is where we peel back that shiny outer layer and get to the real secret, the inner canon. And the secret is hiding in plain sight. These twins, they aren't out there in some futuristic city. They're in here, with you. They are you. And here it is, the big reveal. Nova and Onyx aren't really people at all. They're personifications of two different parts of your own mind. Nova is your raw creative impulse, and Onyx is your sharp critical thinking. The whole framework is just a cool way to visualize and, get a handle on these two powerful parts of your own consciousness. So let's break that down. What are these inner twins exactly? Well, Nova is your intuitive side, that gut feeling, the place where raw creativity and big emotions come from. And Onyx, that's your focused, logical mind, the part of you that builds a plan, makes the tough calls, and protects you from, let's be honest, your own bad ideas. They're the two halves of your own creative brain. So you see how it's built, right? It's like an onion. We started with the public myth, that cool, stylish story. We just uncovered the inner canon, the psychological part, how it relates to you. And that brings us to the final, deepest level, the esoteric layer. Think of this as the operating system for the whole universe. All right, now we're at the deepest level, the esoteric layer. This is like the physics engine of this whole world. It explains the fundamental rules of the game, the big principles that control how your inner Nova and Onyx actually operate. And it all runs on two main principles. First, the law of mentalism. It basically says that the world they live in is a direct reflection of thought. So those villains they fight, those are really just our own limiting beliefs. And the glitches, those are our own internal contradictions. Then there's the law of polarity, which says the twins' whole job is to create balance, to balance the wild desire of Nova with the focused discipline of Onyx. So the point isn't for Nova to win or for Onyx to win. Nope. The ultimate goal is for them to fuse together into this incredible state of flow called Artifex Astra. It's that magic moment when your creative desire and your strategic discipline are just perfectly in sync. And if you've ever had one of those moments, you know exactly what this feels like. It's when an idea just clicks on every single level. Your heart says, yes, this feels right. And your head says, and it makes perfect strategic sense. It checks both Nova's box and Onyx's box. Okay, so cool story, interesting model, but what do you do with it? How does this actually help you get stuff done? Let's talk about how the Visio Ars Twins become a real practical toolkit you can use every day. Look, the whole reason this multi-layered system exists is to be a powerful, practical tool. It gives you a new language and a new structure for pretty much anything. Mapping out a huge project, writing a case study, or even just thinking through a tough personal decision by checking in with your inner twins. And here's a fantastic, super practical example. Think about your next case study. Instead of a boring title, call it a mission code. The client's problem, that's the signal distortion. Your creative intuition, that's Nova's sight. The actual strategy you used, Onyx's plan. And the big takeaway, that's the Astra verdict. See? It immediately turns a dry report into a really compelling story. You can even map out your whole content strategy this way. Your Nova site content, that's your behind-the-scenes stuff. Sketches, mood boards. Onyx analysis is your deep dive case studies and strategy breakdowns. Visio Ars missions are your classic before and after transformations. And Astra verdicts are where you share your big guiding principles. It gives everything a place and a purpose. It's just an incredibly handy system. And that's really what this is all about. It's about becoming more aware of your own creative process. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. As you move through your day today, which twin is in the driver's seat? Is it Nova's intuition leading the way, or Onyx's logic? And more importantly, what's one little thing you could do to bring them just a bit closer to that perfect astral fusion?